This is your professor, Dr. K, and welcome to the Spiritual Awakening University. Grand Rise family. Welcome to the Spiritual Awakening University. Saturday, July 23rd. As you can see, the color of the day is red. We're channeling that root chakra. We're trying to heal the root chakra. And the name of this divine lesson is called Introduction to Kemetic Science and the Neteru. The Neteru, we have some signs and symbols that we're going to explain. Kemetic science. And we're going to talk about how that relates to Yoruba spirituality with the Orishas and Noble Drew Ali with more science. Okay. Now, I am the professor, Dr. Kalelu Kamara. The main topics of spiritual discussion for the university are metaphysics. I definitely want to highlight that. Metaphysics, chemistry, with Kemetic. Kemetic is like a short name for chemistry. Alchemy, chemistry with a K. Alchemy, mysticism, and esoteric knowledge, which is knowledge only understood by a certain group of people for the chosen, 144,000. Okay, so now what we're going to do to keep the vibes protected, we're going to light this orange candle. This orange candle right here is for courage. Orange represents courage. So I'm going to light the orange candle right here for the session. I'll leave that right there. For the fire, divine masculine energy, and it's Leo season too. Today's the first day of Leo season. I have a Venus in Leo and my sun is in the 5th house, if you know anything about astrology. So I'm going to light this incense right here. Also, this is a Basset Black Panther incense. And if you see right here, we have the goddess Sekhmet. We're going to be channeling that energy. We're going to be bringing in the Neteru energy of Sekhmet, the most fierce warrior of Kemetic. So I'm also going to light some of this dragon blood sage so I can, clear any negative vibes off myself, clear any negative vibes coming through the screen. It's just some spiritual tactics we use to protect ourselves, because I have a high vibratory energy, so I definitely want to protect myself. I have on this red outfit, protect myself from heel to toe, heel to toe. And we're going to bring in the vibes so we can be on a high vibration, frequency. Now this crystal I have right here, this is a lapis lazuli. This is a stone of the Kemetians. Also, people call them Egyptians, but the original people there were the Kemetians. So this is a lapis lazuli stone. This is going to help with my throat chakra, so I can be able to communicate this divine lesson to you guys. This lesson is going to be very extensive. This is an extensive lesson, so you might want to tune in. You might want to tune in. Signs, symbols, and numbers for the divine month. Okay? Now, I'm going to be uploading this on Monday, July 25th, after I do some editing and all that. So, we definitely want to bring in the elements. So, the first element we want to bring in, and you see we have Heru right here. This is a Kemetic symbol. This is the king, the righteous king. You see Heru right here also on the top. We got some of this alkaline water right here. We're going to bring in that water element. This is a chalice, as I explained in the first lesson. So we're going to bring in that water element. I'm going to pour some of this alkaline water. Give thanks. We give thanks to the divine feminine. We honor the divine feminine. And through me drinking this water, I'm bringing in the divine feminine element. I say. And that alkaline water is good too. It'll get your juices flowing. Next, we're going to bring in the fire element. I already lit the candle, but we have the thing right here, and y'all know how we do it when we y'all know how we do it, how I do the star in the sky. That way, that way. Then I'll turn back around because I don't want to mess the table up. And we all keep the stars connected. So this is a symbol for the fire. You know, the fire, divine masculine. And of course we have the fire lit for our courage right here. Now we have the earth pinnacle right here. I would usually have some flowers up in here, you know, to represent the earth, but I got the pinnacle right here. You know what I'm saying? The circle 7, representing the perfected man. And 7 Allah with the star on there. And we have the star in the back of us, which represents love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. So that's our pinnacle right there. And then of course we have the magic wand. I'm an air sign, so, you know, I can write love right here. Love, truth, truth, peace, peace, freedom, freedom, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Ashe, justice. So that's what you can do with your magic wand. It's just a symbol. So now that we brought in those 4 elements, now we definitely want to bring in the 4 stages of matter, which are solids. You know, we are solids. Let me grab the crystal bowl. As you guys know, this is a crystal healing bowl. This is the red one for the root chakra, so you can be fearless and so you can be protected. So for the 4 elements, we did water. We did water. We did fire. And this bowl is real sensitive too. It's strong. We did fire. We did earth for the pinnacle. We did the earth. And then we did the air with the magic wand. The air. Okay? So now we're bringing in the 4 stages of matter, right? Ashe. Ashe to that. Let me see if I can light this this candle. Hold on right quick. Thought I had to I'm just using another instance. I'm gonna light this candle over here. I have an candle at the end. Okay, so this is a Black Panther incense, Nag Champa. Nag Champa is the kind of incense that they burn in the Buddhist temples. You know, so I'm gonna light this Ankh. The Ankh represents eternal life, but we're gonna get into that. I just wanna have more fire. You know, both my parents are fire signs, so you know you have to go through the fire to make your sword more sharp. So I'm gonna light this Ankh candle. I got this from the Power Mecca Cafe, the Tupac Cafe downtown. Power Mecca. So shout out to them. Their food was pretty good too. You know, they had some soul food. So shout out to them. Let me see if I could put this in here. Two is always better than 1. So let's keep going. We're going to the 4 stages of matter. So we got solids. Solids. We know that our body is solid. You know what I'm saying? We got liquids. We got the liquids, you know, and I'll pour some more alkaline water for the liquids. I'm just trying to bring in the frequency so I can be able to get this divine message out to you guys. Pouring the liquids, alkaline water. Liquids, I say. Man, alkaline water is good. And we got gases, right? Gases. You know, if you guys roll up, go ahead and roll up your gas. You know what I'm saying? I just got some good gas yesterday. Some Daydream, some orange sherbet. You know what I'm saying? Gases. Okay? And that is a divine lesson. That plasma energy. Okay? Now we're going to bring in the 4 directions, right? The 4 directions. That's what I use my thing for. Okay? We drawing stars for the 4 directions. We got north. We got north. We got east. We got south. And we keep the stars connected, and we got the west. And we keep the stars all connected in the universe. North, west, east, south. Ashe to the 4 directions, which was the original cross. The original cross that you see on everybody, that represents the 4 elements and the 4 directions. Ashe. Okay? So we're bringing in that energy. And lastly, what I'm going to do something new. Since I'm channeling this segment, who's the daughter of Ra, you know, the original Trinity is Mother, Father, and Son, right? But I'm going to add one. The Quadrinity. This is for Mother, the Divine Mother. Aset. Kemetic science, her name is Aset, or some call her Net, you know, Mother of the Universe. Father. Father. Geb. Geb will be the earth, you know, or it could be Asar, Father of Heru. You know, we're going to do Son. Son. Mother, Father, Son. We're talking about genders right now. Mother, Father, Son. And lastly, we're going to bring in the daughter. That's the Quadrinity. Mother, Father, Son, and daughter. Ashe. All the divine daughters out there, divine sons, divine fathers, and divine mothers. We bringing in all that energy. Ashe. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Yeah, that feels good. So now what we're going to do, we're going to get into this mantra, and it's called I Am. Right back at your Spiritual Awakening University is Dr. Kalelu Kamara. You know, my first name, Kalelu, you know, it's kind of hard for some people to pronounce, but it means God's friend. So that's why I'm doing this as a part of my role as God's friend. I'm trying to get this message out to you guys. Okay, now the name of this mantra is called I Am That I Am. We're going to say it 4 times to raise the frequency and the vibration of this divine lesson on the Neteru, so we can have them in here with us. It's Leo season, first day of Leo season. Happy solar return to His Imperial Majesty, Haile Selassie, last Emperor of Ethiopia. We're going to get into this mantra, okay? So we can, you know, be on our Lion King stuff. I am that I am. And for all you guys know, you know how powerful that is. I am that I am. And let me pour my last little bit of alkaline water so I can speak thoroughly, so I can enunciate my words, things like that. Okay, here we go. I am that I am. I am that I am, the violet fire, ascension frequency. I am that I am, the violet fire, joy enfolding me. I am that I am, the violet fire, power, wisdom, love. I am that I am, the violet fire, one with God above. I am that I am, the violet fire, awake my lucid dream. I am that I am, the violet fire, unto ascension beam. I am that I am, the violet fire, in gratitude I rise. I am that I am, the violet fire, abundance is my prize. I am that I am, the violet fire, ascension frequency. I am that I am, the violet fire, joy enfolding me. I am that I am, the violet fire, power, wisdom, love. I am that I am, the violet fire, one with God above. I am that I am, the violet fire, awake my lucid dream. I am that I am, the violet fire, into ascension beam. I am that I am, the violet fire, in gratitude I rise. I am that I am, the violet fire, abundance is my prize. I am that I am, the violet fire, ascension frequency. I am that I am, the violet fire, joy enfolding me. I am that I am, the violet fire, power, wisdom, love. I am that I am, the violet fire, one with God above. I am that I am, the violet fire, awake my lucid dream. I am that I am, the violet fire into ascension being. I am that I am, the violet fire in gratitude I rise. I am that I am, the violet fire, abundance is my prize. I am that I am, the violet fire, ascension frequency. I am that I am, the violet fire, joy enfolding me. I am that I am, the violet fire, power, wisdom, love. I am that I am, the violet fire, one with God above. I am that I am, the violet fire, awake my lucid dream. I am that I am, the violet fire, into ascension beam. I am that I am, the violet fire, in gratitude I rise. I am that I am, the violet fire, abundance is my prize. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe-o. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta roar like a lion. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna be right back. I am that I am, the violet fire, abundance is my prize. Know thyself. Peace, fam. Right back at you, Spiritual Awakening University. So now I'm about to give you guys a little story on how I got awakened. I got awakened in New Orleans. As you guys know, I've been an artist, or if you don't know, I've been an artist for 10 years. My artist name is Kemetic. Chaotic stands for keeping all your own thoughts in control, on some positive mentalism. And I was out in New Orleans at the Heritage Jazz Festival, promoting myself, you know, making money and everything with some of my business partners from Chicago. You know, I had some friends from Chicago. I was a part of this organization that allowed artists to create music for free. And I'm very adventurous, so I would go to New Orleans a lot. That was like my #1 spot for business. So they had this jazz festival out there, and I'm just getting money, you know what I'm saying, promoting myself, having fun, networking, you know, just selling my music and things. And on the last day, I don't know, we just made like a lot of money. Like the sun was shining on us different, and you know, people were used to seeing us. There's thousands of people out there. And then we're all promoting our music. And then at the end, you know, we went to celebrate on Bourbon Street. You know, we're doing a little, you know, popping a few bottles, and I'm chopping up game with my homie from Chicago. He's from the west side of Chicago. And I was telling him how I used to be in a foster home. And you know, how I just was trying to better my life, you know, get my master's degree and everything. And then he was like, man, I don't know why I'm telling you this. Like, he just felt comfortable giving me some esoteric information. And what he told me was, this is what he said, no cap. And I'm gonna keep it real with y'all, but I'm gonna warn, if anybody's like very religious or, you know, into the Catholic religion or the Christian religion, this might not be the channel for you, you know. So I just want to put that out there. But when my homie told me from Chicago, he told me that Jesus was not real, no cap. And he gave me a reference to watch. He told me about these master teachers, and the guy's name was Dr. Ray Hagins. He's a pastor from St. Louis. So I started watching some of his videos on YouTube. Then I did some research, because I'm already a researcher myself. He was telling me how, like, in 325 AD, there was this meeting with, you know, a lot of people. It was called the Council of Nicaea, where this emperor named Constantine, he gathered a whole lot of like religious priests and everything, and they decided to create this character named Jesus Christ, you know. And the image of the character that you guys see, the Caucasian male, is an individual named Caesar Borgia. You know, you can look that up too. 325 AD, Constantine, Council of Nicaea, and Caesar Borgia. And these are all facts, you know. So after that, you know, I just left religion and I went into Kemetic science. This is Kemetic science right here, which is like Egypt, which is known as Egypt, but it's really called Kemet. That's the African version, all right, because this is true African spirituality. And a lot of the Christian stories are stolen from Egypt, you know, and I found that out about 8 years ago. And, you know, I have to be courageous to tell this story, but I definitely have to get this information out there. So, my first challenge when I got awakened, you know, I got awakened in like May, and then in about October, I had like a deep challenge, because I was addicted to smoking these Black and Milds, you know. I've been smoking them since I was in a group home. But somehow I tapped into a power inside of me, an invisible power. We're going to talk about that too. And I quit smoking Black and Milds. So I say to myself for that, you know. Haven't had a Black and Mild since I awakened. 8 years, you know. So I say to myself for that. I had to protect myself. Now I just smoke cannabis, you know, to heal myself. But yeah, quit smoking the Black and Milds, and it was amazing, you know. And I feel much better. I can control my energy because the Black and Milds were like, you know, taking my energy away, and I'm just naturally energetic. So now I have, you know, learned how to control my energy like that. Then I joined this organization, which is like right down the street from my house. I met this lady in Santa Monica, you know. I might as well tell the story about this right now, okay? Now, while I was hustling my music, you know, some great things have been happening to me since I've been awakened. I met this lady in Santa Monica. She had like a Moorish hair wrap on for women, and you know, she was an elder. She was an older lady, but you know, she took a liking to me. She invited me out to dinner one day, and I'm gonna take this down so I can make room for the Neteru I'm about to put up here. She invited me out to dinner one day, right? To this vegan restaurant in Inglewood called Stuff I Eat. Shout out to them. Shout out to the vegan restaurant. Stuff I Eat on Market Street. Okay? And then I was telling her how I was studying for my PhD and everything. And I think she liked that, you know? She wanted to encourage me. And I had just awakened and everything. And she bought a present for me to the restaurant, you know? And I was like, ooh, what is this? And I'm gonna show you guys what the present is right now. She told me this was me. Get the present. Let me get the present for y'all. Bam. This is who she told was me. I hope the camera can see this. Let me see if I can move over a little bit. This is Jehudi. This is the Neteru of knowledge, wisdom, mathematics, you know, all sciences, you know, astrology, numerology, you know. So she told me this was me, and that helped me graduate with my PhD. So shout out to Dahaya, you know, that's her name. So I can appreciate that, okay? Then she told me about this organization down the street from where I live that I never noticed, and it's called Chakra. So I joined the organization. I was a part of them for about, you know, 3.5 years, and they definitely helped me along my spiritual journey, so much respect to them. Chakra Unity Center of African Spiritual Science, that's the name of it. And the Reverend's name was Mary Kara. He recently ascended, you know, back to the ancestors, so respect to Reverend Mary Kara and all the divine connections I made at Chakra. I can appreciate that. You know, all the knowledge I learned. They taught me about Ma'at. We're going to get into that soon. That's the divine wife of Jehudi, you know, Ma'at, but we're going to get into that. So right here we have Seishat. No, this is Sekhmet, excuse me. We're going to get into Seishat too. That's Jehudi's second wife. So we have Sekhmet right here, who's the most fierce warrior in Kemetic. And we have Jehudi right here. As you can see, he's writing. He's the Neteru of writing. You know, I got my PhD, and that was very, very inspirational, and I can appreciate her for doing that. And let me see. Now, I definitely want to point out that just like black people over here in America were given slave names, okay, the Neteru were also given slave names, you know? So people might not know this as Jehudi, but they might know this as Thoth, okay? Thoth, which is not even his real name. His real African name is Jehudi, D-J-U-T-Y, okay? And he has a book out called The Emerald Tablets of Thoth. So you might want to do some research on that. So this is Sekhmet. As you can see, Heru is on the top. Heru is on the top, right? Or what's the other name that they use for Heru? Hold on, let me think of it. Horus, okay? They call Heru Horus. That's not even his real name. His real name is Heru, like a hero, you know? And you can find these symbols on the back of your dollar bill, you know? You can find this pyramid right here, which is a Mer, M-E-R. You know, we call ourselves Moors as our nationality. This pyramid is our symbol all across the world. Wherever you see a pyramid, that's the symbol of our civilization, you know? And of course I have the little pharaoh right here, the king, the little pharaoh, which I will explain in more details in 1 minute, okay? So tune in, keep tuning in, because we're about to get into the Neteru right now. But right now we're gonna do some book recommendations. I'm gonna show you guys the Kemetic books that you want to get, and then we're gonna go into a 7-minute meditation, and then we're gonna bring in the Neteru. Ashe. Peace, fam. Right back at you, Spiritual Awakening University. So now I'm about to give you guys some book recommendations, okay? So the first book that I'm going to recommend, which I already talked about on my first show, is Spiritual Warriors Are Healers by Mifendushi Jehudi Mas. You see, he has the Jehudi in his name also. So I'm definitely going to put this book over here, because we're going to be using this as a reference to acknowledge some of the Neteru that I'm going to channel to bring in, okay? So you definitely want to have that book, Spiritual Warriors Are Healers. And this is also a spiritual healing channel also. So, you know, as I'm healing myself, I'm definitely going to be healing others. So this is definitely an important book that you want to have. The Egyptian Book of the Dead, you know, definitely has some great information in there. And I'm not even going to go into too much detail because, you know, this might be a long broadcast right here. But Egyptian Book of the Dead, the complete papyrus of Ani. Let me see if there's a picture in here I can show you guys, because images are always good. Okay. See, it has some of the ancestors in here. I don't know if y'all can see that, but okay, that's a SAR. Definitely want to show y'all something from this book, because this book is important. Okay. Let me see if I can find it. Okay. That's not it. Okay. So right here you see a Sar right here sitting on the throne. You see a Sar sitting on the throne in the afterlife. Okay? With his two wives behind him, Aset and Nebhet, protecting him. He's the king of the afterlife. But it definitely has some great images in there. Then you might want to get this book right here by Anthony Browder. You know, he's a scholar. Nile Valley Contributions to Civilization. And while I have this book, I just want to make a note right here. You know, a lot of people know that, you know, there's an Egypt also over here in America, right? And the reason you can know that is because the Mississippi and the Nile River are like the same. So that's how you know, like, Africa and America were connected at once. It was all one landmass before the big split. Okay? Nile Valley Civilizations, Contributions to Civilization. You want to get that book. Then, if you're a more advanced scholar, you want to get the Neteru. And the Neteru is basically the hieroglyphs, okay? That's the language of the gods. So I got volume 1, volume 2, and volume 3 right here. Those are book recommendations. Then we have some books about Ma'at, you know. Ma'at was like the moral code of the Kemetians, you know, their morality. And we're going to go into that also. I know I have some things I'm going to talk about Ma'at, you know. So Ma'at, Divine Feminine, Ma'at. 11 Laws of Ma'at, and then you got Ma'at, Guiding Principles of Moral Living. Okay, those are 2 books you can get right there. Let's do these books over here. The African Origins of Civilization by Cheikh Anta Diop. You know, these are resources for you. So you can, because I might not be able to explain everything on this one podcast. So you might have to do some research yourself. Here you go. Ancient Future. This talks about the 7 Hermetic laws, right? They try to call him Hermes or something, Hermes, but his name is Jehudi. So, Hermetic Laws, Ancient Future by Wayne B. Chandler. Okay. Ancient Egyptian Economics by Muata Ashby. You know, just some resources for you. Here's another one by Muata Ashby, which talks about the ancient Egyptian Buddha. Ancient Egyptian Buddha. This one's really good. You definitely want to get that one. Then this is one, Dark Light Consciousness by Edward Bruce Bynum. This is a good one too. Definitely gives you some great information. Then here's a book by Malena Karanga, the Husia. That's the guy who made up Kwanzaa, you know? So this definitely has some good, it has Sacred Wisdom of Ancient Egypt by Malena Karanga, okay? This one's good too. It's a good key. Then I just got these two books right here, Raseki, Kemetic Reiki. You know, a lot of people are in the Reiki now, so it has volume 1 and volume 2. And this is by Rekit Nektet. Okay, Rekit Nektet. She's cool. She makes some good books. Now I got this book in New Orleans, Invoking the Egyptian Gods. This is strong. This is a strong book right here. It's very powerful. Okay, and that's by some Europeans. They're cool though, Judith Page and Ken Biles, because you know they've been all over there digging up Egypt, so you know they know a lot about our culture. This book right here is pretty good too, by Richard Wilkinson. You know, The Complete Gods and Goddesses of Ancient Egypt. But like I told you guys, they're not going to give you the African names. They're going to tell you what their European names are. You know. But right here on this channel, we're giving it to you authentic and original. We're going to give you their African names, okay? Then these are the last 3 books I have right here. This is a King Tut Dream book, and this is The Culture and Constellations of Ancient Egypt, okay? And this is Kemetic Diet by Muata Ashby. So I have a lot of books by Muata Ashby. He's done some extensive research on Kemet, okay? And Kemet means land of the blacks, all right? Kemet means land of the blacks. But right here in America is different, you know? As much as we want to connect with Kemet, you know, that's definitely in East Africa, okay? Over there by Israel and Ethiopia, all right? The landmasses have divided. So there's nothing wrong with the color black, and there's nothing wrong with Kemet being the land of the blacks, but to call yourself black over here, that's a misnomer. You know, you can look that up in your etymology dictionary, and we are known as Moors. Okay, that's what this is our symbol right here. That's why it's on the back of the dollar, the pyramid. All right, the pyramid where the kings are buried. So now we're gonna go into it. Oh, I also want to tell you guys about some DVDs. All right, not just books. DVDs also. So this is one, you know, this is by PBS. Of course, it's going to be a little biased, you know. I was watching a little bit of it last night. Rise of the Black Pharaohs. This is a DVD for your recommendation. And this one right here is pretty good too. Egypt's Golden Empire. So right now we're going to get into this 7-minute meditation so I can help bring in the Neteru. All right, so stay tuned. Welcome back, family. About to do this 7-minute meditation, you know, so we can heal our vibes. This is for the root chakra. So if you want to meditate with me, I appreciate that, because I definitely want to, the Neteru have a very strong energy. Okay, so I definitely want to bring in the vibes right. I want to make sure my frequency and my energy is right also. So that's why I have this red on for protection. You know, red also represents the blood of Asar. Asar was the first Neteru, the first person that died, you know? That's why he's the king of the underworld. So I'm going to bring in the energy right. We're definitely going to meditate for 7 minutes, okay? For 7 minutes. I'm going to light some of this red dragon blood sage. And then after that, we're going to meditate. Oh, I'll just light it with the candle. Okay. Red dragon blood sage to bring in some good vibes while we meditate. And I'm gonna hold that lapis lazuli in my hand while I meditate, so I can vibrate with the stone, so I can communicate effectively. Okay, lapis lazuli. Okay, so we're gonna meditate for 7 minutes. Let me drink some of this alkaline water. 1, 2, 3. I say, fam. I don't know if that was 7 minutes. It says 7 minutes right on my clock, though. It was like 7:03. So, I say to that. I say, we brought in the good meditation, that good energy with the lapis lazuli, that root chakra. And now we're gonna go into some signs and symbols of ancient Kemet. So stay tuned. Spiritual Awakening University. Got that lapis lazuli sphere right here. I'm feeling good. So definitely gonna bring in the Neteru. They coming in. They ready. Right back at you, Dr. Kalelu, Spiritual Awakening University. I'm about to tell you guys about these symbols, these divine signs and symbols of ancient Kemet. So right here we have Sekhmet, right? The most fierce warrior of Kemet. You see her, she's looking like a lioness goddess, you know, and it's Leo season. And in Kemet, the Sphinx is known as Kemetic, you know, and that represents your higher self rising above your animal nature. So, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I be in my animal nature sometimes, and I have to conquer that, you know. So, you know, the pharaoh on the top of the head represents your higher self, and the lion body represents your animal nature, and that's a representation of the constellation of Leo. Okay, shout out to all the Leos in the house. And the first symbol, okay, so that's Sekhmet. You see she has some Heremekets right here, you know. Those are some Heremekets, the pharaoh with the lion body. Me being from Sierra Leone, you know, the lion is an important animal to me, you know, because it represents the king. I know you guys have seen Lion King, you know, and that's a representation. If you don't know, the Lion King are a representation of the Neteru also, the movie Lion King. Mufasa is Asar, Simba is Heru, you know, the mom is Aset, Nala is Heru, the monkey is Jehudi, the baboon, you know. So it's all a representation of our original African spirituality in our stories. These are the myths. Some of these are mythological, but they can definitely play a metaphysical role in your life, like they're able to manifest. So this is the first symbol we're going to talk about right here. This is the Ankh. This is known as the key of life. And this represents the original Holy Trinity of mother in the womb or the uterus, father, and child. Mother, father, and child. This is the key of life. Also represents eternal life, okay? Because we are eternal beings. We never die. And it's the opposite of the cross. You know, the cross represents death. This represents life, you know. So you definitely want to have one of these handy. This is one of the first things I bought in New Orleans when I awakened. It was an Ankh. And like I told you guys about the original Trinity, mother, father, and child. This is the original Trinity right here. This is the original Trinity. This is Asar. This is Aset, his wife, his divine wife. And this is Heru. And you see they're giving him divine energy because he was the first Neteru that actually died, you know, or he didn't die because he was resurrected. But, you know, and you see they're giving him divine energy, you know, as you can see that. They're healing him. They are healing him. So this is his father. This is Heru's father. And I'm going to tell you guys the story of these Neteru right here, right now. So, Asar is the rightful king, you know, of Kemet. He was out teaching his divine lessons all across the country, you know, all across the world. He was like civilizing people. And when he got back, they threw a big party for him, but his brother was jealous of him. His brother's name is Set. And I think this story is related to the Mayans also, because there's this book that I got called Queen Mu and the Egyptian Sphinx. Y'all can look that up, Queen Mu and the Egyptian Sphinx. But right now we're talking about Kemet, okay? The story in Kemet. So Asar was murdered by his brother. His name was Set, okay? he made this vest for him, had him try it on. The vest destroyed him into 14 pieces. The pieces were scattered all across the land. Aset had to find all the pieces. His phallus, which this is a tekenu, his phallus, this represents the male genitalia, you know. His phallus was eaten by a wild fish in the Nile River, but Aset, she knows magic. She learned magic from Jehudi. Her and her sister, Nebhet, they were able to find all the pieces. She was crying and everything. She put all the pieces back together. They made love, and through immaculate conception gave birth to Heru, which is the rightful king. Heru had to fight his uncle Set for the throne, just like Simba had to fight who? Scar. You know what I mean? Same story. So that's a little history about that. I'm not going to go into full detail, but this is the original Holy Trinity. Mother, Father, and Child. And that's what we represent in this university. We honor that. We honor the Divine Trinity because we know the power of the 3, 6, and the 9, right? We know that already. We learned that from the University of Cosmic Intelligence. Shout out to the Divine Insight. Okay? Now the next symbol that we're going to talk about. Okay? We're going to talk about the Eye of Heru. Okay? This is known as Wajet, but this is the Eye of Heru. Okay? Now, as I was explaining to you guys, Heru was fighting his evil uncle Set, you know, for the throne, because Set killed his brother and, you know, just took over the throne. He was jealous, you know, of his wife, Aset. So Heru was trying to fight his uncle, you know, just like physically, right? And he's losing the fight. He lost the fight so much where he got his eye ripped out, you know. But Jehudi, who is like he's like an arbitrator, you know. He's like a mediator. He makes sure it doesn't one side win over the other, you know. It's like well balanced. So he was able, and he's a moon god also. He's the Neteru of the moon. So he was able to bless Heru with his third eye, okay? And when Heru got his third eye, he was able to defeat his uncle Set by using his intuition, you know, and he was able to defeat him mentally instead of fighting him physically. So this is a representation of the Kundalini energy, or is also known as the Uraeus in Kemetic. It represents royalty, represents protection, and it represents wisdom. And we all know Tupac, his name means what? Shining serpent. This is the shining serpent that they're talking about right here. The Uraeus, you know? So that's another symbol for you to look up. Like I told you, when Heru got his third eye, he was able to defeat his uncle Set. And that third eye is a divine feminine energy, okay? So we definitely have respect for the divine feminine. Now getting into the next symbol. This is a feather of Ma'at. You know, Ma'at is known as the principles of truth, justice, order, balance, reciprocity, righteousness, propriety, and harmony. And this feather right here represents that your heart is supposed to be lighter than a feather, you know, when it's your last day on this earth. Your heart should be lighter than a feather. You shouldn't have any grudges in your heart. You should be at peace. You should be at harmony. And your heart gets weighed on a scale against a feather. And if your heart is not lighter than a feather, then you can't ascend to the next realm, or you can't, you know, elevate to the next, you might have to reincarnate. You didn't learn all the lessons you were supposed to learn on this earthly realm. So, you know, I hope that my heart and I hope that your heart are all lighter than a feather when it's time for us to, when it's time for us to elevate to the next realm. So I give an ashe to that. Protect our mind, body, and our soul, and our spirit. Ashe. And make sure that our hearts are lighter than a feather, and no weapons formed against us shall prosper. Ashe. And no enemies that try to come for us will succeed. So that's the feather of Ma'at. Alright? Now I'm going to give you guys the 42 laws, 42 affirmations of Ma'at. These are affirmations, okay? Kind of like mantras, you know? But I'm going to read them off. This is by one of my scholarly friends. His name is Enoch Hankerson, you know? And you can look him up online. And you can get one of these. These are the 42 affirmations of Ma'at. Let me see if I can put this in front of the camera so you guys can see. And you see at the bottom right there, that's where your heart is weighed against the feather. And you see a Sar right there. You see Anubis. Anubis is like your like the bailiff, you know, in the courtroom. You see the ancestors at the top. You see Ammon at the bottom. If your heart is not lighter than the feather, then it gets destroyed by Ammon. You see Jehudi writing the results. You see Heru, like the lawyer. He's bringing you to Asar, who has Nebhet and Aset at the bottom. So let's go ahead and read these off. Okay. I have not committed sin. I have not committed robbery with violence. These are the 42 affirmations of Ma'at. I have not stolen. I have not slain women or men. I have not stolen food. I have not swindled offerings. I have not stolen from God and Goddess, Neteru. I have not told lies. I have not carried away food. I have not cursed. I have not closed my ears to truth. I have not committed adultery. I have not made anyone cry. I have not felt sorrow without reason. I have not assaulted anyone. I am not deceitful. I have not stolen anyone's land. I have not been an eavesdropper. I have not falsely accused anyone. I have not been angry without reason. I have not seduced anyone's wife. I have not polluted myself. I have not terrorized anyone. I have not disobeyed the laws of Ma'at. I have not been exclusively angry. I have not cursed God and Goddess Neteru. I have not behaved with violence. I have not caused disruption of peace. I have not acted hastily or without knowledge. I have not overstepped my boundaries of concern. I have not exaggerated my words when speaking. I have not worked evil, Isfet. So evil is called Isfet. I have not used evil, Isfet, thoughts, words, or deeds. I have not polluted the water. I have not spoken angrily or arrogantly. I have not cursed anyone in thought, word, or deeds. I have not placed myself on a pedestal. I have not stolen what belongs to God and Goddess, Neteru. I have not stolen from or disrespected the deceased. I have not taken food from a child. I have not acted with insolence. I have not destroyed property belonging to God and Goddess, Neteru. So these are the 42 affirmations of Ma'at. And I also want to go back to this third eye, right? I'm going to show you guys. It says the eye of Horus, which we know his name is Heru, okay? The left eye represents, it's moon related. It's the moon god right here. This is the sun goddess. Left eye, moon related, feminine, yin energy, explores human nature, emotions, sexual energy, intuition, and magic. A symbol of healing, powers, and protection, okay? Then your right eye, which is Ra, left eye, Thoth, Jehudi, right eye of Ra. This is Ra right here, the warrior, the sun, S-U-N, S-U-N, the sun god, okay? This is Ra. And I have Ra at the end of my last name too. I also want to mention that my last name is Kemetic. You know, Ka means spirit, Ma is like the owl or a vision, and Ra is Ra right here, the sun god. So my Kemetic last name is spirit that sees the vision of the divine sight. Spirit that sees the vision of the divine sight. So I definitely want to be tapped into my intuition. So the right eye, which is Ra right here, right? Sun related, masculine, yang energy, explores reason, mathematics, logic, science, and language. A symbol of good luck and creative action. So this is Ra right here. He's a warrior, you know. The sun shines every day. So that's Ra. Definitely want to give respect to him. Okay? Now, another symbol. We're going through some symbols right now, right? This is, get it cleared off. This is King Tut right here. Let me put this in front of the camera. This is King Tut right here, you know. As you can see, he has the head garment on, which represents the kingmanship. He has his beard, you know. And this is in all gold. The Egyptians value gold so much. Gold gives us a different frequency. You see he has the Uraeus at the top of his head, you know, and it's definitely very cultural. You know, this is a big part of our culture right here. And to my understanding, when the king wore the head wrap like this, this means that he has reached a high level of wisdom, which is like a divine feminine aspect right here. So that's what they're imitating right there. Or they're emulating the divine feminine aspect. Now this is another timeline right here. This is a timeline by my comrade Enoch Ankerson, and it gives a full description of our dynasty, okay? Of our Kushite Kemetic dynasty. Because Egypt and Ethiopia united at one point, and they were known as the Kushite Kemetic Kingdom. So I'm just going to read a little bit of this off for you. You have the astronomical calendar right here. And I have an astronomical calendar right here. Take a look at this. This is the astronomical calendar here in Kemetic, okay? The original astronomy, astrology, all right? Take a good look at that right there. So our job while we're here on this planet is to master all of the zodiac signs, all 12 of the zodiac signs. And then 13 will transform us and make us complete. So you have the astronomical calendar. You got Asara Set Haru. This is in the pre-dynastic age, 4236 BCE. That's like 5,000 years before Christ, okay? Before the Christian era. You have Haru, okay? You have the Ankh that I showed you guys, right? This is in the pre-dynastic stage. You have the Ankh. As you can see, it has an African mask over it. This is kind of cool. I got this in the Merc Park. The Ankh, which I explained to you guys. You have the Neteru. The Neteru, which is like the hieroglyphs, okay? Then you have Ahamena in 3150 BCE. Imhotep. Imhotep created the first step pyramid, okay? He was known as the first genius, okay? This is in the first dynasty. Djoser, you know, these are some of the Kemetic rulers. Seneferu, Khufu, the three great pyramids at Giza, the Step Pyramid, the Khufu ship. So you know we were travelers. This is 2550 BCE. The three great pyramids at Giza are Menkaru, Khafre, and the Great Pyramid of Khufu. Okay, that's the Pyramid Age Old Kingdom. Then you have the Middle Kingdom with Ptah-hotep, Queen Hatshepsut. Okay, she was a goddess. She had multiple husbands, so that's probably why a lot of women are, you know, into having multiple men right now, because it's in their blood with Queen Hatshepsut. You got Khepera Kare, Ptah-hotep. This is in the Middle Kingdom. You got the Math Papyrus, Queen Amos Nefertari, okay? Then, once you go into the Temple and Imperial Age, when the New Kingdom, that's when King Tut comes into play, Tutankhamun, Akhenaten, you know, Nefertiti, Queen T, Ramesses, Tutmosis, you know? And a lot of these characters, a lot of these Egyptian pharaohs are renamed all in the Bible, okay? That's why I'm looking into the camera like this, so you guys can really understand what I'm saying. All the characters in the Bible are renamed from Kemetic pharaohs, all right? Now I'm going to go into something real deep right here. Check this out. This is Amunet. She has an amethyst on top of her head. I'm going to take that down. And this is Amen. He has a lapis lazuli. Necklace on. So I'm going to show this to you guys. Divine feminine, divine masculine. And these are just statues, you know, but they're representations of powers that are inside of us. Amen represents the supreme, the invisible. Amunet represents the divine feminine aspect of the supreme. And together, these are what we are supposed to tap into for balance, all right? Our divine feminine, our divine masculine. As 9 ether beings, we are all made up of this. And yeah, that's Amen right there. So everybody, when they say Amen at the end of their prayers, when they say Amen, they're channeling that energy right there, the invisible power inside of all of us. And I know that we could tap into that again, okay? Now the last Neteru I'm going to talk about is Ptah. This is Ptah right here. This is the husband of Sekhmet. Okay, this is Ptah. This is like your creativity, all right? And he also represents omnipotence, omnipresence, and omnipotent. He's all powerful, knows everything, you know, a creator. And as you can see, he has a scully on top of his head, right? He has a scully on top of his head, and we all know that the Muslims wear the scullies, okay? So, and then even the Oscars, they try to emulate that from Ptah, all right? So this is the creator Neteru right here. And the supreme power of God is known as Amen-Ra Ptah, okay? Amen-Ra Ptah. And these are known as Kepara right here to represent transformation, all right? Transformation, Kepara, and these go with Ptah, okay? And let me see, is there any more symbols I need to explain? Okay, this is the Tekanu right here, right? Also known as the obelisk in Washington, D.C. This represents the male phallus, okay? The Tekanu right here. And it's powerful, it represents strength, fertility, you know, power, you know? And even the buildings downtown, the skyscrapers, those are all emulations of the Tekanu. So a lot of our culture has just been plagiarized all throughout society, all throughout the whole country. I'm gonna leave this right up here. Okay? So now we're gonna just talk about the Neteru right now, okay? I'm gonna give you guys, first I wanna talk about how more science comes into play with Kemetic science, okay? Where's the chemistry between Moorish science and Kemetic science? So, as I explained to you guys, the 7 principles of Ma'at are truth, justice, order, balance, righteousness, propriety, harmony, you know? And the 5 principles, according to our flag, are truth, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. So you see truth and justice in there. So Ma'at and the Moorish morality are definitely connected together. There were even Moors living in Egypt at the time. They were known as priests of Anubis. Okay? Now there's also 7 laws of the universe. 7 laws of the universe, and these include mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, gender, rhythm, and cause and effect. So we see that number 7 again right there with the 7 laws of the universe. So you definitely want to be tapped into that. Mentalism, okay? And you can look into the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, or Jehudi, Emerald Tablets of Jehudi. Now, as you can see, I have Sekhmet right here. She represents protection. She's also the most fierce warrior of Kemetic, okay? So she definitely doesn't play around. I definitely have some symbols right here. My dad is West African, so, you know, like I was telling you, in Kemetic, gold plays an important role, and I have a pharaoh chain right here because I consider myself a king. So definitely want to stay thinking like a king, okay? Now, as you guys know, Tutankhamun, or King Tut, he's probably one of the most famous pharaohs in Kemet, and there was a big controversy over whether he should be Tutankhaten, because his father, King Akhenaten, you know, he caused a lot of he changed a lot of things in Kemet, you know, from the son being Amun to Aten, but you see the Amun at the end of Tutankhamun's name, and he had a divine wife also. Her name was Ankh-Esenamun. And let's talk about that word Ankh, okay? So, from my research and understanding, the Big Bang, you know how scientists like to explain the Big Bang, the Kemetians also have their own version of the Big Bang, and this is through the Ankh. Now, the A in the Ankh stand for Amun, or Amunet, and that represented invisibility, okay? The invisible force that's in the air that we're breathing, you know? Breathing that good energy, okay? Now, the Nun, the N in the Ankh, Nun represent the primordial waters. You know, that's powerful right there. The primordial waters. Okay? There's Nun and then there's Nunet. There's a divine masculine and there's a divine feminine energy that come together. Known as Nun and Nunet. Then you have Kuk and Kuket. That's darkness. Complete darkness, okay? Complete darkness. That's where we come from in the universe. And then lastly, you have Ha and Hahet. And that represents eternity. Eternity, divine feminine and divine masculine aspects. And these were all represented by 4 frogs and 4 snakes. Okay? Now the main Neteru that I'm going to give you guys, now we're going to go into this divine lesson. Let's talk about Geb, okay? Now from my understanding, Geb is the Father Earth. He's represented by a goose. Let me see if I can find him in here. Here we go. And let's read a little bit. The Earth Neteru, or the Neb of Earth. The Earth Neteru, or the Neb of Earth, Geb, is the source of terrestrial authority. Geb is a member of the Ennead of Anu. Shu and Tefnut are his parents, which is like moisture and air. His mate and sister energy is Nut. Geb and Nut gave birth to 5 children who represent the 5 days above the year: Asar, Set, Heru, Aset, and Nebhet. He is also known as the father of the great Asarian family. One legend in ancient Kemet says he is the great Crackler, the man with the golden egg from which the world sprang. He is symbolized by a bearded man with a goose upon his head. Sometimes he is wearing the Atef crown. Geb can also be symbolized as a goose, the bird sacred to him. Other variants of his name are Kin, Keb, Keb, and Seb. Okay? Now let's go into Nut. Let's see if I can find Nut. Happy. I should be a little more organized with this, but let me see if I can find it. Give me a minute, family. I hope y'all still tuning in. Let's see, where's Nut at? Nut. Okay, here we go. So this is Geb's divine wife, Nut, like as above, so below. Okay, the Neteru who personified the sky or livable atmosphere. She was usually depicted as a woman bearing on her head a vase of water with the Medu Neteru phonetic value of Nut. She sometimes wears a headdress of horns and the disc of the Neteru Het Heru, and holds a papyrus scepter in one hand and the Ankh emblem of life in the other. Sometimes she is shown as a woman spangled with stars. Now where did they get this spangled stars from? Because ask yourself that. Okay? Arched over the body of her husband Geb, or sometimes supported by her father Shu. The son was thought to have been swallowed by Nut. Passing Nut was also regarded as friend and protector of the dead. She is frequently referred to as Mother Nut and is supposedly supposed to spread herself out over the dead in her name of Governor of the Sky. Okay? Now let's get into a little fun. Now we're going to go into Asar. Okay? Asar. Hold on. No, he's back here. Asar. Asar is the ruler of eternity, Neb of everlastingness, Neb of nature, leader in front of the mighty bull of the Amit, west. Asar was also the sun after his disappearance in the west, but rising again the next morning. Asar is a very ancient nature, is as old as the discovery of agriculture on the African continent, more than 100,000 years old. Asar was manifested as a water nature in the very old period. Asar means place of the eye. Now, Asar also connects to the Sirius star system. Okay? The Sirius star in the sky, that's the constellation that's connected to Asar. Alright? Now let's go to Aset. And Asar is the Lord of the underworld, resurrection and transformation. Okay, Aset. That's his divine wife, right? She is the throne. Aset means the throne. She's the mother of the cosmos and represents the moon, okay? The nature of mothership and maternal devotion, the divine mother the great black woman, mother of Heru, dutiful wife of Asar, who assists in his resurrection. She is one of the 4 protector Neteru, guarding coffins in Mesu Heru jars, sister of Nebhet, Set, Heru and Asar. Aset is also the daughter of Geb and Nut. She gives birth to the ruling line of power that comes forth from her son Heru, the power of truth and balance on earth. Aset is associated with the art of healing and medicine. She is the great wife who loves her subjects and cares for the weak and helpless. Her spiritual consciousness is entirely selfless. She is the divine mother to whom we can turn to in times of grief, and she offers warm and ready sympathy for our tears. Her name means throne, sometimes worn on her head. She is the great Kemetic. Okay? Now let's go to Heru, which is, Heru is the champion warrior god, hawk, rightful owner to the throne. So let's go to Heru. Let's find it. Heru, let's see, Kepara, Ma'at, Neteru, Tara, Segment, Set, Shu, Sia. Yeah, he has a lot of Untu in here. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm okay, Heru. Remember, I said he's a champion warrior god, hawk, rightful owner to the throne. The Neteru Heru appears as a falcon, or a falcon-headed man, or a sun disk with falcon wings. Heru means that which is up, one who is up, or he who is above, or that which is above. Up is a symbolic of heaven, that which is righteous. Heru is the embodiment of what we call royalty or divine rulership in Kemet. Heru was also the foundation of Ma'at in ancient Kemet. Each Nesut of ancient Kemet was the embodiment of Heru during their rule. Heru is the ultimate triumph, the ultimate transformation in human form. So this is known as a Nesut right here, right? And this is a representation of Heru also. Okay? Now let's go to his evil uncle, Set, who is the lord of the desert. You know, he killed his brother Asar at war with his nephew. Okay, now let's go to Set. And this will be like your lower self. Heru will be like your higher self. Okay, now let's see if I can find Set. And they also try to call Set Satan in the Bible, but that's not really, you know, he's just your lower self. Everybody has a higher and lower self, okay? Set was basically the manifestation of blind force, the Neteru of Esphet, darkness, the opposite of his brother Asar. He ruled by might and force. Set was the sky by night, the downward motion of the sun. He was the 3rd son of Geb and Nut, along with Asar, Heru, Set, and Nebhet. Set was born in the 3rd day of the holy 5 days above the year, at the wrong time and wrong place, by forcing his way through a wound which he made in his mother's side. Set's complement was Nebhet, the mother of Impu, which is Anubis. In the old period, he was the national Neteru of the Delta, and during the Hyksos invasion, the king Apepa made Set the greatest of all Neteru during his dominance. Set was the archetype of the Cain and Abel story. Okay? Now let's go to Nebhet. That's the sister of Aset, goddess of death. Okay? Now let's go to Nebhet. Let me see if I can find her. Hold on. Nebhet. And I'm also talking about Ra too. I'm definitely going to put Ra in there. Okay? Nebhet, the ruler of the house. She is the great helper, the sociable part of harmony, peace, and love. She is the daughter of the Neteru Geb and Nut, the wife of Set, sister of Asar, Aset, and Heru. Her color is green, and the lotus flowers are her sacred symbols. She is the guardian, along with Happy, of the lungs, air element. I'm an air element. For the Mesu Heru jars. Nephthys is the Greek name for Nebhet. Okay? Now, let's talk about Ra. Let's talk about Ra for a little bit. Ra. Ra is the nature of light and victory, of protection, and of immeasurable power. He is the seen force of the universe, manifested by the sun, and the symbol of the sun is used to describe energy. Ra is the energy that allows light to shine. As Kepara, he is a creator who came forth from himself, a light in the darkness, rolling life like a scarab rolls balls of dung into the light, from which its children spring as if by magic. Variants of his name are Re and Fra. Okay? Now let's go to Sekhmet right here. One of my favorite Neteru. She's the most fiercest warrior goddess of Kemet. The Black Panthers were channeling Basset, right? This is the Black Panther instance right here. They were channeling Basset, which is a calmer version of Sekhmet. So let's go to Basset first. Then we'll talk a little bit about Sekhmet. Alright. And I'm gonna tell y'all about Ma'at too. And Jehudi. So if y'all still tuned in, I appreciate you. Okay, this is Basset. You know, the Black Panther, which is named after her. She is depicted as a cat Neteru and often portrayed as a woman with the head of a black cat. She sometimes carries a sistrum for music or is depicted as a complete cat. Bast is a lover of music, dance, and pleasure. Bast is a protector of pregnant women. She also protects you from diseases and evil spirits. She was commonly considered the personification of the beneficial fertilizing power of the sun. Sekhmet is her counterpart. She, the daughter and wife of Ra, mother of Kinsu and Mehez. Her spiritual center is in the northern delta at the city of Perbas. Now let's go to Sekhmet, which I love Sekhmet, man, because she's like a protector and a healer to those who are her friends. And I know she's a friend of mine. You know, she represents Leo season. Okay? Sekhmet was a lioness Neteru that personified the fierce, destructive heat of the sun. Her name literally means the powerful one. She was also the Neteru of war and battle, who could be both punitive and death-dealing. Sekhmet is the daughter of Ra, consort of Ptah, and mother of Nefertum. So that's a triad also. Ptah, Sekhmet, Nefertum. Ptah and Nefertum was the divine triad. Sekhmet, Ptah, and Nefertum was the divine triad and Menfer. Okay? Now let's read a little hymn to her. How strong she is without contender. She honors her name as Hemet of the cities. Sharp-sighted, keen as Neteru's protector, right eye of Ra. Disciple facing her great Neb, bright with the glory of Neteru, wise upon her high throne. She is the most holy of places, a Mecca the world cannot parallel. Ashe and Sekhmet. So let's talk about Ptah. Okay? Let's talk about Ptah. Let's see if I can find him. Let's categorize Jehudi. See if I can find him. Bas, Basar, Amen. Let's see if I can find Ptah. Jehudi. And I'm gonna just give you guys a few more, and then we're gonna move on. Let's see if I can find Ptah. Ptah. It is written by Jehudi that Ptah created everything and brought all the Neteru into being. Thus he is indeed Ta Tenin, the earth Neteru from a form of Ptah. Ptah is the Neteru who is the great architect of the universe, father of beginnings, grandfather of the Neteru. Ptah is the spark of life in all existence, the neb of life. The Greeks call him Hephaestos. Okay? Then we have Jehudi. I'm just going to read you guys from the list now. Jehudi is the Neteru of magic, knowledge, wisdom, science, husband to Ma'at and Sheshat. Nefertum is the child of Sekhmet and Ptah. Okay, he represents the his symbol is the lotus flower. And Sheshat is a divine goddess. She's the Neteru of wisdom, right? But her symbol is the cannabis leaf. All right, so we use cannabis for healing purposes. So okay, we're right back at you. Sorry about that. My camera had died, but we're right back at you. Spiritual Awakening University, talking about the Neteru. So I was telling you guys how Sheshat is the Neteru of cannabis, you know, and that's probably why a lot of black people like cannabis so much, you know, because it heals us. It heals our mind, keeps us cool, helps us think, be creative, gives you, you know, like wisdom. If you're an artist, it's definitely gonna help you out in the studio, okay? Now since the battery is back full, let's go back into some of these Neterus, okay? And these are all divine aspects of nature, all right? So I wanted to talk about Nefertum. Let me see if I can find Nefertum, which is the son of, that's the son of Sekhmet right there and Ptah, okay? Nefertum, the Neteru of the primeval lotus blossom. The name Nefertim has the notion of perfection. Nefertim is the son of the lioness Neter, Sekhmet, and Ptah. Similarly, the feline Neter Basset also states she is the mother of Nefertim. He is the blue lotus out of which, according to one myth, the sun rises. In the description of the Merkut text, the pyramid, Nefertim is the lotus blossom in front of the nose of Ra. Now let's read a little bit about Seshat, okay? Of Sahat. A girl told me her name is really pronounced Sahat, you know, so you definitely want to know the meanings of his name. Sahat says that everything is ordained by numbers, and she also taught Jehudi the writing system. That's his divine wife. Creation begins when numbers begin, when it is possible to give something a name and an origin. She is the female nurture of numbers, measurements, mathematics, letters, literature, and the mate of Jehudi. She is often shown as a woman wearing a 7-petaled flower on her head, carrying a reed pen and palette, recording some deed for eternity. Sometimes she wears a 7-rayed star on her head, surmounted by 2 inverted horns. She is closely connected with the number 7, Sefek. She represents the 7 colors in light and the 7 musical tones. She is the lady of the house of books and the lady of letters, the nature of architecture, of building and construction. In the Duat, she recorded the names of the deceased of her on her register. These are the names Jehudi will declare before Asar. So yeah, that's Sahat. So let's talk about Jehudi, or Thoth. Some people call him Thoth, you know, but his African name is Jehudi. So let me see if I can find him. Jehudi, the nature of good speech, intelligence, and wisdom, the scribe of the Neteru, the universal mind and balance. He is the Neb of divine words, time, universal balance, and the judge of Heru and Set. Jehudi is self-produced, the heart of Ra and the tongue of Ptah. It was Jehudi who spoke the sacred words which gave Ptah the energy necessary to effect the creation of the universe. He is the nature of arts and science, the nature of law, both in heaven and upon earth. Jehudi is the Neb of Medu Nature, the great magician, the divine manifestation of writing and articulate speech, the recorder of time, teacher of the mysteries in Amenta. Jehudi means the measurer. Jehudi is the nature that taught medicine to the healers. He is the personification of learning, books, and libraries. In the pyramid Merkut text, it is stated that Jehudi is the oldest son of Ra. His sacred city is Kemetic in Middle Kemet, the city of 8, with the secret 4-pair night, obscurity, secret, and eternity. Since the old period, his consort or complements are in ancient times Sahat and Ma'at. Okay, he's represented as a baboon, ibis crane bird, or with a man's body and ibis bird head, wearing the crescent moon and disc on his head. The Greeks call him Thoth and Hermes. The word thought and the process of correct and rational thinking comes from the Greek word Thoth. Jehudi is the divine recorder of yesterday, today, and tomorrow, or whatever is, was, and will be has already been written by Jehudi. In essence, he was the author of all life sciences, mentally, physically, and spiritually. His day is Heru Sesu, the 6th day of the week. He is associated with the moon as the measure of time, and his color is amethyst. Jehudi's wisdom is that knowledge will be your strength, faith, your sword, and silence, your impenetrable armor. I say to Jehudi. And lastly, I'm going to speak on Ma'at. Okay? Let's see where Ma'at is, because that's definitely a net shirt that we want to bring the vibration in here. Alright? Let me see if I can find Ma'at. Save the best for last, you know? Let me see. Ma'at. Okay? Ma'at was the personification of the physical and moral law of the universe, such as the 42 oracles of Ma'at. Both Ma'at and her complement, Jehudi, took part in the creation of the world. Ma'at was called Daughter of Ra, or Eye of Ra. She was also called Lady of Heaven, Mistress of the Underworld. Variant spellings of her name are Ma'a, Ma'it, Mat, and Ma'at. The principle of balance in life and in nature is called Ma'at. Ma'at was the foundation of Kemet, and with the thought of a right, truth, real, genuine, righteous, steadfast, and unalterable. There is no single word in English that embraces all the meanings of Ma'at. Like the Tao, way of the Chinese, Ma'at is the energy which holds creation together. Without Ma'at, Esfet reigns unchecked. It is important for a person's heart to be as light as a feather and not weighed down with guilt. Light as a feather. That's what we're talking about. So that's the gift that was given to me while I was studying for my PhD. So now I'm going to talk about how I've applied some Kemetic science to my life. Like, how have I applied some of these principles to my daily life? Well, first of all, when I awakened in New Orleans, when my business partner from Chicago gave me that immaculate information, I wanted to apply it, you know? Like I told you guys in the beginning, I used to smoke these Black and Milds. Like, I was addicted to them. And I was able to stop smoking them, you know, through learning about Kemetic science. And, you know, this is some deep knowledge right here. So I definitely pulled that out of me. I was able to quit smoking Black and Milds. So that's one challenge I faced. Then, you know, I was in the McNair Scholars Program, and the goal was to obtain your PhD. Ronald E. McNair was an astronaut who passed away on the Challenger space shuttle in 1986. There was a program that was created for him called the McNair Program, and I was selected out of 28,000 students to be in this program. You know, because I had a troublesome childhood as a foster youth, so I decided to be a part of the program. I wrote a research called Catastrophic Flood Prevention in Downtown Sacramento, compared and contrasted with Hurricane Katrina. Then I presented the research at these different conferences like UC Berkeley and University of Tennessee at Knoxville and Penn State, you know. So I wanted to see, like, can I complete the mission of this program? Like, is this a part of my life goal to be a McNair Scholar? So I enrolled in the PhD program at Walden University, and I decided I'm going to see if I can tap into this Kemetic science to get my PhD, you know? And it was definitely challenging. It was a challenge. And I remember one time when I was looking for, like, my problem statement, I wanted to tap into Amen, which is the invisible power inside of me. And I knew I could do it. So I tapped into the Amen inside of me. All these powers are inside of us, you know? And I was able to find my problem statement, and 3.5 years later, I graduated with my PhD. And then when I took my picture, I was like, all praises to Amen Ra, which is the supreme, hidden, seen and unseen powers inside of us, you know? We don't even know the full potential of our full powers, but if we tap into the right magic, and everybody's saying Amen at the end of their prayers, so they're definitely tapping into that vibration, the supreme. We could definitely tap into that too. So I definitely proved that I can do it, that I have the power to, you know, obtain my PhD. And now I'm just on my next journey, you know, I'm just trying to give back. I've been awakened for 8 years. So now that's why I'm doing this podcast. This has been a podcast on, you know, the Neteru, the nature. These are the laws of nature, and all these laws are inside of us. So I try to get in tune with nature. I try to go to the farmer's market, give me some organic fruits. As you can see, I'm drinking alkaline water. As you can see, I'm drinking alkaline water. This is the rest of it right here. You know, I take my purple sea moss, you know, and I try to do my meditations. I claim my nationality and divine creed. This was, you know, this has just been a long, everlasting journey of knowledge. That's why I really feel like I'm the Neteru of knowledge and wisdom, because, you know, of course I have my PhD, I'm awakened, and I really love Sekhmet. She protects me, you know. She protects me from my enemies, and, you know, those known and unknown. You know, she's the most fierce warrior of Kemet. So these are all powers inside of us. So, it's up to us to tap into that. And of course, you know, there is a Egypt over here in the United States also. It's probably over there in Phoenix, Arizona with the Grand Canyons. You know, I'm pretty sure they found some artifacts, some Kemetic artifacts over there in the Grand Canyons, and some pyramids. There's definitely some pyramids over there also. So the two land masses were connected at once, America and Africa, you know, so that's why the cultures are similar. All right. So I did join this spiritual organization, Karas Unity Center of African Spiritual Science. You know, so much respect to them. But I'm starting my own organization, the Spiritual Awakening University. So thank you guys so much for tuning into that broadcast. You know, be on the lookout for more videos. Now I'm going to give you a live performance. I call this song Kemetic. Peace and love. Love y'all, man. For real. Happy birthday, His Imperial Majesty. Free Rashad Jamal. Divine Insight, man. I'm keeping it going for you, man. University of Cosmic Intelligence, Spiritual Awakening University. I went to school online, so that's why I'm doing this, you know. I figure, hey, that's some chemistry right there. I hope y'all like my outfit. This is a shirt that I created. I'm the doctor of the music industry, as you can see. I'm the pharaoh right there with the boombox, with the fly Ankh shoes on. You know what I'm saying? With the Ankh chain. It's a shirt I created. Be on the lookout for some merchandise. Kemetic. If you need healing and protection, and you really believe in the Neteru and the powers of the universe and the stars, the sun, the moon, and the stars, and your third eye is open, channel Kemetic, channel Jehudi, channel Patah, channel Asar Set Heru, the divine Trinity, channel Amin and Amunet, channel Ra and Ra'it. That's his divine wife. He has a wife named Ra'it, you know, or they call her Rat. So yeah, this has been Dr. Kalelu Kumar, Spiritual Awakening University. Thank y'all for tuning in. Stay tuned for that live performance, Kemetic. Love y'all. Okay, now we're about to get into this live performance, Kemetic. Let's go. Yeah. Right fist in the air, yeah, there's strength in the struggle. Through all your pain and sorrow, you'll be building your vessel. Put your left foot forward and lead with your heart. Cause music is my life and life is all. They say life is a journey on your road to the riches. It's a long marathon, but you're running the distance. Never give up, yeah, the struggle continues until the war is won. Yeah, the warriors in you. The home, the shelter, man, it's just like a prison. So I stay representing for all the ghetto children. Alcohol, keep your head twisted and tangled. South Central, my city, home of the gang bangers. Most people smoke blunts just to ease the pain. Don't get caught in the matrix chasing money and fame. Yeah, know thyself, now you got you some game. What? Get locked up, only yourself to blame. AK-47, keep it locked and loaded. Like Ali Muhammad, new African soldier. Take it back to the motherland, embracing your culture. And keep your head focused just like you're supposed to. Justice, equality, liberation, and freedom. I've been honoring success, I've been crowned as a leader. Don't wait until later, cause the time is now. Say it like James Brown, I'm warring, I'm proud. Right fist in the air, yeah, there's strength in the struggle. To all your pain and sorrow, you'll be building your muscle. Put your left foot forward and lead with your heart. Cause music is my life and life is all. They say life is a journey on your road to the riches. It's a long marathon, but you're running the distance. Never give up, yeah, the struggle continues until the war is won. Yeah, the warriors in you. Keep causing division. They wanna see us locked up, and if they're in prison, you gotta work out for the FBI informants and study that because it's really important. Counterintelligence, yeah, it's highly relevant. You can't trust the government or the U.S. presidents. Genocide runs deep in U.S. history. The murderers going wild on the killing spree. Oh, good, Neteru and the goddess segment. I channel these energies to fight back and protect. They want to destroy the leaders that inspire the people. For hundreds of years we witnessed unfair treatment. And it's like our state study, and because I'm a student, learning about the revolutionary action movement. Yeah, we all one love like my man Bob Marley. But right now we gotta fight back like the Black Panther Party. Right fists in the air, yeah, there's strength in the struggle. Through all your pain and sorrow, you'll be building your muscle. Put your left foot forward and lead with your heart. Cause music is my life and life is art. They say life is a journey on your road to the riches. It's a long marathon, but you're running a distance. Never give up, yeah, the struggle continues until the war is won. Yeah, the warriors in you. Rest in peace to the LA leader, Bunchy Carter. He was the mayor of the ghetto, and now he's a martyr. Let's not forget Chi-Town with Fred Hampton. I got the solar segment. I'm a young Black Panther. I'ma die for something. It won't fall for nothing. I gotta say R.I.P. to young Bobby Hutton. Most people blind, they don't know we under attack. Don't want us to fight back like Geronimo Pratt. Frame us for these crimes we ain't never commit. Now the kings killing kings with the Bloods and the Crips. FBI, CIA, LAPD. This is a police state disguised as democracy. Innocent individuals in prison for life. Will you surrender or fight for what's right? Sometimes I gotta ask myself, am I next? If so, give me Moorish liberation or death. Right fists in the air, yeah, there's strength in the struggle. Through all your pain and sorrow, you'll be building your muscle. Put your left foot forward and lead with your heart. Cause music is my life and life is art. They say life is a journey on your road to the riches. It's a long marathon, but you're running the distance. Yeah, never give up, yeah, the struggle continues until the war is won, and the warriors in you. Right fists in the air, yeah, there's strength in the struggle. Through all your pain and sorrow, you'll be building your muscle. Put your left foot forward and lead with your heart. Cause music is my life and life is art. They say life is a journey on your road to the riches. It's a long marathon, but you're running the distance. Yeah, never give up. Yeah, the struggle continues until the war is won. Yeah, the warriors in you. Yeah. I say, Spiritual Awakening University. Yeah, thank y'all for tuning in, man. Much respect. Be on the lookout for the next podcast. One love. Peace.